Hey everyone, and welcome. We usually think about data as something we just read, right? But what if I told you that's only half the picture? Today we're going to explore how you can become an active participant in your data's world, how you can shape, change, and craft the story your information tells.
So let's really think about that for a second. What if you weren't just a bystander, just reading the story your data tells, but you were actually the author? What if you had the power to add new characters, revise the plot, and even remove entire chapters that just aren't relevant anymore? That's the power we're unlocking today. Well, to do all that cool stuff, you need the right words. You need a special vocabulary, a language built just for making those kinds of changes and manipulating data. And that language, my friends, is DML. It stands for Data Manipulation Language. Now, it's actually a specific part of the bigger SQL world, and its one job, its only job, is to manipulate data. You could think of it as the action hero in your SQL toolkit.
And this toolkit, this ensemble, if you will, has three main stars. You've got a command for putting new data in, one for changing what's already there, and another for getting rid of what you don't need anymore. These three, they are the absolute core of your data storytelling arsenal.
All right, let's kick things off with our first tool. How do we add brand new characters into our story? Well, for that, we use the insert command.
It's pretty straightforward, right? The insert command does exactly what its name suggests. It's basically you telling the database, hey, take this new piece of info and pop it into this table for me. This is how you make your dataset grow, one new record at a time.
So what does this look like in the real world? Let's check out the code. First, we tell it what to do and where. Insert into our employees table. Simple enough. Then we get specific about the columns we're filling in. In this case, first name, last name, and salary. And finally, we use the keyword values to provide the actual data for our new employee, John Doe.
See? It's really just three simple pieces. First up, the command itself. Insert into employees. Second, you list out the columns you're targeting, first name, last name, salary. And third, you plug in the matching values. John, Doe, 50,000.00. Boom, done.
Okay, so you've got your characters in the story. Awesome. But stories evolve, right? People get promotions, they move, things change. So what do you do then? Well, that's when we start revising the story. And for that, we need the update command.
The update command is basically your editor's red pen. It's not for adding new stuff or taking old stuff out. Nope. Its only job is to modify the records that are already there.
And this analogy is perfect. Think about it like you're editing a document. You wouldn't delete the entire file just to fix a spelling mistake, would you? Of course not. You just go in and change that one word. Update lets you do the exact same thing in your database with total precision. So let's look at the code for this. We start with update employees. Then we say what we want to change using set. In this case, we're setting the salary to $55,000. But hang on, because this next part is, and I mean this, the single most important piece of this command, the where clause. This tells the database exactly which record to change. Seriously, if you forget this, you might just give everyone in the company a raise. Not a great Monday morning.
So if we break it down, you can see that same three-part logic. You've got your command, update employees. You've got the change you're making, set salary equals $55,000, 00.
And then you have the crucial, all-important condition where employee ID equals 1. That condition is your safety net. It's your targeting system. It makes sure you only change what you mean to change.
But stories aren't just about adding and editing. Sometimes a chapter ends. An employee moves on. A product line is retired. For those moments, you need a way to completely remove those old pages from your story.
And that's where the delete command comes in. It is powerful and it is direct. Its job is to permanently, totally remove records. Those are the rows from your table. And when I say remove, I mean it. This isn't just hiding it away. This is gone for good. This notebook analogy is actually really smart because it highlights a key difference. When you rip a page out of a notebook, that information is gone, poof. But the notebook itself, the cover, the binding, all the other pages, is still there. Delete works the exact same way. It gets rid of the data in the rows, but the table structure, all your columns and definitions, they stay right where they are.
The code for this is just as straightforward. Delete from employees. But, and you knew this was coming, just like with update, that where clause is your best friend. It is non-negotiable. Where employee ID equals 1, make sure you're only deleting that one specific employee. Let me say this again, because it's that important. If you forget the where clause here, you could wipe out your entire table. Everything. Gone.
So yeah, the structure here is even simpler. It's just two parts. You've got the action, delete from employees, and then you have the critical condition that tells it what to delete, where employee ID is 1. Always, always, always use that condition.
All right, let's pull all of this together. With just these 3 simple commands, insert, update, and delete, you've completely changed how you interact with your data. You're not just a passive observer anymore. You are an active author. You are the storyteller.
So let's do a quick review. We've got insert, which adds new data. That's like adding new characters. We've got update, which modifies existing data. That's like editing your manuscript. And we've got delete, which removes data. That's like tearing out a page that's no longer needed. 3 powerful commands, 3 essential storytelling actions.
And this quote right here, it just nails it. DML commands are what let you be the storyteller. They turn a database from a static list of facts into a living, breathing narrative that you get to shape.
You know, at the end of the day, this is about so much more than just learning code syntax. It's really about empowerment. It's about having the power to craft, to polish, and to perfect the stories that are waiting inside your data. So, I'll leave you with this one final thought. You now have the fundamental tools of a data storyteller. You can add, you can revise, you can remove. The only real question left is, what story are you going to tell?